Welcome, guys. Today we look at our top 5 HR data analytics tips in Excel. Let's get started. I have my HR data, as you can see, and one of the most important things as an HR professional you need to calculate is your length of stay, how long people have been in the organization. And it is always better you calculate it in months. The dated if or the date diff comes in handy. You write the function name. Your first one, that is F5, is my previous, that is my hiring date. And I have today's function, comma, and I bring in an M. The M there represents the number of months. It is always ideal you do it in months. That is so simple and straightforward. That is our first tip that every HR data analyst or HR professional should know. Let's move on to our second one. We still have data like this. It is always better you get to know the number of staff within your organization and also the number of staff per department or unit. Then your count if function comes in handy. With your counting function, you open parentheses. Then your first part is just your range. So you select the department or the unit column in your data. You have your comma and my criteria there, as you can see. S, the business, which is J5. And bingo, it has just been done. All I need is to drag it down. But before I do it, I always have to make sure I have blocked the table. So I go in there and I use my function key F4 to introduce my dollar sign. And that will give me the opportunity for me to just drag down. And everything will be done within some splits of a second. That's nice. Another tip that we should always know that takes me to, and you can imagine that it is always automated as we change in or even introduce a department, the numbers changing. Another most important tip that I'm adding as my third point here is my average F. That will help me to calculate stuff like my average salary per department. So in every department, I just want to be something should guide me to know the average salary I am spending within every unit. And the average if function comes in handy as you see me doing it. It has three main arguments: the range, the criteria, and the last part, which is the average range. Just like how I'm doing it, you always have to make sure you introduce your dollar signs or by blocking it, and that will help you to scroll down. Check this out. So I use my F4 function on my keyboard, F4, and simple and straightforward. I hit enter afterwards and I just drag it down. So this particular serves as a guide as one of the metrics table that every HR department should have. So at a point in time, you can all know the number of people within every unit. That moves on to my fourth one. I call it my HR Google table. You know, anytime you want to find some people data within your talent data, there is one unique thing that every staff must have, which will become the staff ID. And we want to use the staff ID as our lookup value to search for everything. So anytime you put in the staff ID, the basic information you need about the staff should come so that you don't go running your eyes through your data. And the VLOOKUP function is one thing that you should know. Just like I'm doing, I've selected all my data, making sure I select false means because I need an exact match. And bracket close, enter, and bingo. I didn't have to go and look through to know that the person with the staff ID A003 is called Dosia Boahen. But just by using my VLOOKUP function in Microsoft Excel, it just brings it up easily. And interestingly, you always have to do this just once, and every time it just works. Let's see how it goes. So let's move on. So that is the basic salary. Let's see how I'm going to do with the one for department. My equal sum comes first. My function name here is VLOOKUP. I open parentheses. My lookup value there is cell I4. My table array has been selected. As you can see, 5 becomes where I can find my department and I introduce my 4 for exact match. And the person is in risk. I do same to get the hiring date from my HR data table, which is just like how I've done for the others in Bingo. So if you have your Google table like this, anytime you want any information on any stuff, let's see how it goes. So what I'll do next is I'll try and change the staff ID. So just put in my staff ID and let's see what happens. Bingo, I didn't have to go through it. So this helps you anytime you need any information about any stuff. All you have to do is to put in the staff ID and the basic information comes. And my final one for today, is one hidden trick. HRs always carry sensitive data, and you may be sharing your data among people and you need to hide some. One easier way of hiding some data, especially like your basic salary that you may not want people to see, is just by right clicking the column where you have the data, go down and hit on format cell, go to custom and just hit 3 times, semicolon 3 times, and enter, and bingo, do you know the salary figures are missing? Wow. Don't forget to subscribe for more. My name is Gabriel. Share with other HR enthusiasts.